Now to the latest on the suspect in the CEO murder. Luigi Mangione is fighting extradition back to the city tonight, setting up what could be a weeks-long process. And Governor Hochul says that she will intervene. Here's the latest that we know. We're learning more about the writings in his possession when he was arrested. Mangione shouted at reporters as he walked into a Pennsylvania courtroom today, and he was denied bail. We have team coverage here for you tonight. Lisa Rozner has reaction from those that knew him, including a former roommate. Dick Brennan breaking down the latest on Mangione's writings. But Bauman kicks off from Pennsylvania. She was in court today as the suspect made his first appearance.
Luigi Mangione did not seem shaken inside the courtroom. He sat up straight, at times smiled, and often looked around at the rows of reporters, mouthing to himself as if he was counting the number of people in the room. Now, it could be up to a month before Mangione is extradited back to New York, but Governor Kathy Hochul is vowing to sign a request for a governor's warrant to ensure he is tried.
And it's completely out of touch, and it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people. It's a lived experience.
Luigi Mangione writhed and shouted on his way into a Pennsylvania courthouse Tuesday. Inside, his attorney contested his extradition to New York to face second-degree murder charges for the death of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Prosecutors are undeterred.
Contesting it, just provides more hoops for law enforcement and prosecutors to jump through, but we're happy to do that.
The 26-year-old had far less to say coming out of court than going in. The judge denied his attorney's bail request, keeping Mangione in police custody in Pennsylvania, while prosecutors have a 30-day deadline to procure a governor's warrant for his extradition.
I haven't seen any evidence that says that he's the shooter.
But investigators say they are combing through a mountain of evidence. This photo from police body cam shows Mangione eating alone at an Altoona McDonald's Monday just before his arrest. Police say in addition to the fake New Jersey ID consistent with what was used to check into the Manhattan hostel before the shooting, as well as a 3D printed ghost gun and suppressor, along with his passport and a 3-page handwritten document.
The handwritten note at which he expressed what's been described as anger at the insurance industry, where he has been quoted as calling them parasites.
The McDonald's where Mangione was arrested has now hired private security as employees told police they fear for their safety from threats.
Well, the one guy said, "That looks like the shooter from New York."
Larry, a regular at that McDonald's, says he and his friends saw Mangione there Monday and later talked to the employee who called police.
She said between his eyes and his eyebrows, she says, when I took his order, it was like she had in her mind, oh my God, this is a guy from New York.
And at one point during the hearing, Mangione's defense attorney was positing that his having several face masks in his backpack was not inherently suspicious because they could have been left over from COVID. And that's when Mangione loudly interrupted to say that he had just bought those face masks. At that point, his attorney shushed his own client in front of the court and said, "Do not say a word." Mangione took his attorney's advice. From Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, Bauman, CBS News, New York.
And tonight, some new information in that 3-page document police say that Luigi Mangione was carrying, and they say that it points to why he wanted to kill. Dick Brennan here now with that part of the story. Dick.
Well, Christine, police sources are calling that 3-page handwritten note as a claim of responsibility. They believe the suspect's grievances about UnitedHealthcare and other insurance companies are what motivated the murder of Brian Thompson, and now they worry that extremists may follow suit. Police sources say in his note, Mangione rants against corporations for what he says is abusing the U.S. for immense profit. He refers to corporations as mafiosa that have gotten too powerful, and that others had shown a light on corporations' corruption and greed in the past, but wrote, "I am the first to face it," with such brutal honesty. NYPD officials say they're concerned that Mangione could inspire wider violence.
There are also posters that we've seen online and in New York with various CEOs' pictures on them. These are perceived threats, and it is important for everybody to know that we will take these threats very seriously.
Now that Luigi Mangione is in custody, investigators here will move to lock down the case against him.
They're going to really piece that together to start to tell the story of everything that happened prior to the attack itself, and the moments afterwards.
And that will include attempts to track every move Mangione made. Police say it appears he went to Pittsburgh and then Altoona after leaving New York, and he was concealing his movements using a signal-blocking bag.
You can put your phone in there so we can't track your phone. It doesn't transmit a signal. It blocks the signal. In essence, it's like if you wrapped your phone in aluminum foil and put it in a bag.
There's also the question of Mangione's outburst at the courthouse. Was he trying to make a statement figuratively and literally?
And it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people.
And he gets out of the car, and then he immediately has this outburst. So was that brought about by the fact that the cameras are on, the media was there, and it immediately put him into the role of wanting a lot of attention?
Police say Mangione spent days in New York before the shooting, and now they can further search for witnesses he may have had contact with.
As they were trying to apprehend him, they didn't have the ability to go out and cast a wide net on who else interacted with him. Now they can. They have the luxury of time to slow down and find all of those additional individuals.
Now, Mangione's mother filed a missing persons report in San Francisco last month, part of concerns that the family had because they say he was not communicating. Christine.
All right, Dick. Thank you. People who know the suspect are sharing their shock, saying that the crime Luigi Mangione is accused of committing is really out of character. Lisa Rozner has reaction now from a high school classmate and a former roommate.
Christine, his friends are bewildered, asking what happened between the last few months when they couldn't reach him and the fatal shooting outside this Hilton.
I just feel heartbroken, somebody that I loved and cared about, that could have done something so hideous.
An emotional R.J. Martin reflects on his former roommate Luigi Mangione from 2022. As the founder of the Surf Break co-living community in Hawaii, Martin says he vetted Mangione to see if he'd be a good fit.
He wanted to be in Hawaii and stay healthy, experience different cultures. And the only times I noticed when he wasn't being social, I think, was when he was in severe pain. He was suffering from a spinal misalignment. Something had to do with his care back home. So he always was weighing on him.
Martin says Mangione facilitated deep conversations for the community's book club, which discussed the manifesto from the notorious Unabomber.
Never once thought of it, that it would affect anyone's life or spur action for anyone in the group. Never once mentioned anything about violence. Never once did guns come up in a conversation.
Mangione studied engineering at the University of Pennsylvania and had ties to Stanford.
He really had everything going for him. He was one of the nicest kids.
Mangione comes from a prominent Maryland family that is involved in developing real estate there. Through a cousin who is also a state lawmaker in Maryland, the family released a statement saying in part it is shocked and devastated and asking people to pray for all those involved. In Midtown, Lisa Rozner, CBS News, New York.
And we will continue to follow the extradition process and bring you the latest developments. For more on our coverage, including backlash the McDonald's where Mangione was found is now facing, just head to CBSNewYork.com.